3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 1053. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, feel free to do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below, and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome. And thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. So, there is a reason for why out of the cards that are on this table, you can see the Six of Wands here. This card, it says rewards, self-confidence, victory, momentum, success. In the reverse, it says comparing self with others, not following truth, people-pleasing, not your idea of success, disappointment, and self-dishonesty. But this was in the reverse. A victorious, successful, forward-moving, rewarding experience that really boosts your self-confidence. There could be a conflict within you or outside of you that I feel like you are going to overcome or have already overcame. For someone in particular, this victory has to do with money. Maybe finding a job or just receiving money that you've been hoping for or expecting. I felt that because whenever I saw the Six of Wands, the palm of my hand itched, and I grew up with the superstition that if your palm of your hand itches, it means you're getting money soon. Not that I ever put a lot of faith into that belief, but as I've become a spiritual person now, I believe that everything happens for a reason, and I guess I do believe in it now. The reason why you're seeing the Six of Wands was because I mentioned it in a reading recently. It was either the one before this one or the one before the last one, 1051 or 1052. I mentioned the Six of Wands and some sort of victory. So I feel like this card is just here to confirm for somebody that you will overcome something. You will get the rewards, the money, whatever it is that you're needing or seeking. And I did see the number 321 on the timer just now, which is a sign about trusting that everything happens for a reason. I did say you're seeing that Six of Wands for a reason. Of course, I told you. But I guess, why not add to the magic a little more? Let's start interpreting the number 1053. The number 1 is about trusting yourself. It's encouragement or confirmation for you to listen to, pay attention to, and really connect with your intuition and your inner voice. What kind of choice do you feel called to make? What kind of path do you feel called to take or pave for yourself? How do you feel called to move and show up in the world and stay true and authentic and just really, really connected with that? Feels like that message of being really, really connected with your intuition, your true thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, that feels like a really strong message here. The number 0 can be about signs. Well, not exactly. That was a significant interpretation in one of the last 2 readings as well. I don't typically mean to say signs or messages or synchronicities, but I guess it's that interpretation is here again. What I meant to say is the number 0 can be about certain patterns or recurring themes you might be noticing within your own mindset, your own belief system, or in your relationships, or some situation or many situations that are happening outside of yourself. Could be confirmation to pay attention to these patterns and these recurring themes and what they really mean. The other way that I interpret the number 0 is just a reminder to know when to put yourself first, the relationship with yourself first. Know when to respect yourself, who you really are, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually and physically. There's really a strong message here about aligning with authenticity. I personally believe that when we are honest about who we are, our life is built on truth, and so our relationships are going to be true and honest. The job, whatever career we have, is going to be true and honest. Or what we should have, because this world isn't exactly built on truth, and if you don't conform with the lie, you might lose people or opportunities because of that. But in my opinion, the sacrifice is worth it. And I want you to know that you are not the only person making such sacrifices, if you resonate with that. I think self-respect just feels really important as a message here. Of course, don't be reckless, but be smart and know where you should invest yourself. And if you need to make a transition or a change, be wise about it. Like I just said, don't be reckless or even impulsive. The number 5 is about change and transformation. So you could definitely be going through a personal transformation. Maybe you're healing or changing in some way, probably becoming more, rather expressing yourself in a way that aligns more with who you truly are. You might be making changes in relationships, how you make money, how you live, just how you show up. For yourself, for others, and for the world. And if these changes are about self-respect, respecting your well-being, your truth, your light, your authenticity, I say trust them. I'm just telling you what I've been doing. And for me personally, things have been very challenging, but I definitely believe that the reward will be worth it, and I feel the same for you. And interestingly enough, that 6 of Wands card did say reward. Someone here could even have the potential to get public recognition. I believe that all of our stories matter, but only some of us are meant to share it publicly. And if you align with that, this will be confirmation. To share your story and to be a positive force of change for others. And I wanted to say, or the phrase, the others, is standing out to me. That makes me feel like there are specific people that are meant to see your story for some mysterious reason. But moving on to the number 3, this number is about self-expression and communication. I think that this is just confirmation of being honest about what you think, feel, believe, who you are. It can also be about healing and growing, confirmation of someone's healing journey, trying to grow as a person or even grow a project or something that you're investing in outside of yourself. And the last way that I interpret it is making a commitment. And given that we have the number 0 about knowing when to put yourself first, knowing when to choose self-respect, it could be confirmation or encouragement for you to make a conscious commitment to loving yourself and choosing yourself when you need to, no matter the sacrifice. I mean, like I said, don't be reckless. but I think you get what I'm saying. Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 5 is 6, plus 3 is 9. And I always love to get a number 9 because I interpret this number as your purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. So whatever changes, whatever positive changes you're making, you are contributing to a collective effort to make positive changes in your community, in your country, globally. No matter how big or small you think your impact is, it matters no matter what. There actually used to be a message that I used to give more often than I do now about how every person is like a puzzle piece. Every person has a part to play. And we all need to be working together, committed together to, put all the pieces together and see the full picture. There was another way that I wanted to say it, but I couldn't come up with anything. I do think, though, that there's something significant about theater. It could be political, to do with film, some sort of performance. But when I'm talking about playing your part, it's not a performance. I mean, it can be, but it's real. You're not pretending to be someone you're not in a situation that doesn't really exist. It's not about your imagination. Exactly. Is there anything else that I could get from the number 9 about purpose and helping the world release what no longer works? Yeah, if you do feel a sense of purpose, I really encourage you to trust that. If you feel like you're being pulled somewhere or guided somewhere, trust yourself, believe in yourself. As we were talking about with the number 1, really connect with your intuition. This actually leads me to believe that you definitely are feeling called somewhere. And you should definitely trust the calling, the purpose. And if you don't feel a sense of purpose, well, this reading could be here to encourage you to find it. Because it's out there. You get to decide what your experiences mean to you. How can you use your pain, your anger, your frustration, your sadness, the numbness to work for you rather than against you? How can you use it as fuel to empower yourself and give more to yourself rather than destroy and just take from yourself? Alright, you might have heard that noise, that creaking noise. That noise was me messing with my PlayStation controller because, if you don't already know, I like to listen to meditations while I record videos to help me really connect and tune in. And I plug in headphones to my controller, and so I listen to it through my PlayStation. But this controller is kind of acting wacky. I do need a new one. Just wanted to explain what that was. But moving into the cards now. I'll tell you what though. Because the controller is wacky, the videos, anytime I watch videos, it'll just randomly start to play back. I don't really know. I don't know what that's about. It's weird and it's frustrating. But maybe for you, there's something that's weird, frustrating, and distracting. With the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot that I have in my hands right now, I'm going to pull 2 cards to look deeper into what's going on. you know? What are all these messages about? Trusting yourself, knowing when to put yourself first, embracing positive change, respecting, making important commitments. What are all of these about? What is this purpose about? So the first card that I have is the Chariot in reverse. It says setbacks, lack of willpower, too focused on the details. Remember, main motive. Is that what that says? I think so. 4 goals. Yeah, so here could definitely be feeling frustrated. You also could be feeling powerless or out of control, or just feeling like you don't have enough control. And that can definitely be frustrating. I think that this card is a call for you to take a look at the bigger picture. And remember the purpose, why you're doing what you're doing. This does feel like encouragement for you to slow down and to focus inward, to reflect, and, probably even heal in some way. The number 7 on the Chariot, the number is about expanding your awareness and your consciousness, gaining wisdom, and finding deeper meaning. There is deeper meaning, there's more to know, and there's more to learn. And this frustration, or these feelings, these uncomfortable feelings or thoughts, they're really meant to show you something about your potential, I feel like. Earlier in my own healing spiritual journey, I told myself that pain equals potential. It's a reflection of potential. So, however much pain you're feeling, that's how much fuel you have to make a difference. And I think, it's just a matter of, are you going to use this energy, these feelings, these uncomfortable thoughts to destroy or to build? I wanted to say as well, to destroy or create. But I also want to point out that destruction isn't always a bad thing, because sometimes you have to break things down to make room to rebuild. Let's go ahead and get out another one of these tarot cards. Yeah, we have the Ace of Cups. It says bottled up, share, center yourself, emotional imbalance, upright, friendship, intuitive, love interest, creative, love offer, expired. This wasn't in reverse though. Yeah, the frustration is real. And it's very clear to me that it is so important for you right now to find a way to express yourself. The number 3, how I interpreted that, self-expression, healing, growing, committing, it feels particularly significant. I also want to mention that whenever you accept what you don't have control over, what you don't have, that actually gives you more control, because you'll have more control over yourself, and ultimately will have the power, the ability to bring more or manifest more, create more for yourself. I feel like there's something here about harnessing this energy and repurposing it, directing it in a way that is constructive rather than destructive. I also encourage you to be very kind and patient with yourself while trying to understand yourself and what all of this means from a spiritual angle or point of view. I just feel a lot of darkness in this energy. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I just think what would make it bad is if you use this darkness to create more darkness, instead of transmuting that darkness into light. If you're not familiar with what that means, I do encourage you to do your research, because honestly I don't think I would do it justice to try to explain it myself. But, I mean, I guess a really good way of kind of conceptualizing it, if that's the right word, is what I said before about how pain equals potential. However much darkness and pain you're carrying is a reflection of how much healing and light you can create. And the more light that you create within yourself, the more light you can attract in your own life. That's what I believe anyway. I am going to move on to drawing out one card from the Ancestor Spirit Oracle to wrap up this reading for you. What does this person, this human being, need to... What message do they need from past loved ones? Even if they didn't know them in this life or not, what do their ancestors want them to know? What do they want to say? We have respect your physical body. It says detox, rejuvenate, and relax. I kind of want to read from the guidebook for this one. I'm going to take a drink of water and grab that real quick. Okay. Did I just miss it? Okay, here it is. Shared with family members and friends, and also used as a birthing space, the sauna has been an integral part of Finnish culture for thousands of years. In a traditional sauna ritual, Finns hold a vita, a branch of a silver birch, and gently beat themselves to relax their muscles, increase circulation, and soothe insect bites. The sauna is a place for detoxing, relaxing, and rejuvenating the body and mind. In addition to cleansing, saunas housed religious ceremonies, and thus had rules similar to those of a church. In folklore, the sauna is home to the saunatantu, the sauna elf, a spirit who looks after the sauna, protects it from fire and damage, and offers special protection for women and babies. The saunatantu is said to warn the owner of danger, or if something is not right. A sauna elf would only show themselves when they wanted to be seen, and only someone with a clear and open mind could perceive them. If an elf feels disrespected, they could get angry, behave badly, and bring bad luck. People keep on good terms with their sauna elf and enjoy their blessings by leaving out food, water, and special offerings. I'm trying to think of something. You could feel drawn to things like elves or fairies or things of that nature, no pun intended. I haven't explored that a whole lot myself, so I don't really have an opinion on it, but maybe this is an encouragement for you to form your own opinion and do some exploring. The part that says the ancestors speak says it is time to pay more attention to your physical surroundings, both your body and the environment where you live and work. Your mortal body is just as important as your spiritual energy. It is important to look after the vessel that carries your soul. Consider how you contribute to your health and well-being. Also, look at the energy where you live and work. Create a safer space so you can go home and relax and recharge. The divinatory meaning says attend to your physical, emotional, and mental space. Like a buildup of dust, toxins, thoughts, ideas, and feelings can accumulate and start to dull your energies. Create a bubble in your routine where you can process and release stress, emotions, or physical impurities. Sort it out in a sauna or with a run or walk in the fresh air. Notice what you are consuming and limit the processed foods, chemicals, or negativity you are taking in. I actually didn't mention it, but I do think for somebody there is something here that you're consuming that's not healthy for you, either because you shouldn't be consuming it at all, or there needs to be more moderation. The last sentence says, a cleansing diet or skin treatment will have benefits for your whole self. And there is another card in the Ancestor Spirit Oracle that says whole self health. And I was really feeling that interpretation of this card as well. This is just kind of like a general message to take care of yourself. Take your mental health seriously. Take care of your physical body, especially since this card specifically is coming out. Maybe there is some sort of detox, whether it's literal, physical, or spiritual. I'm really, really feeling the idea of a spiritual detox by doing some shadow work and turning more darkness into light. And I really feel like I'm getting strong confirmation here that there is something emotionally or mentally that needs to be released or transformed. There's something here that is very important and essential for you to find closure with if you want more control in your life and more control over outcomes. Just having better luck. Me personally, I don't know if I really believe in luck or karma in the same sense that people typically do. I just believe that we have control over those things, more control than we think. Not always, because the universe does co-create with us and is its own force, its own being. I think. Still reflecting on that one. The whole being its own being.